How many times do we commit to change and then talk ourselves out of it? Today I'm out on the patio and I'm having just a rest day, and I'm going to explain the importance of why these rest days go a long way to you staying committed to the changes that we talk ourselves into. Stick with us. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. I am your host, John Espinosa. I am your host, John Espinosa, to the Leading Leaders podcast. Hey everyone, John here. I'm sitting out on the patio. We had a week full of travel, and I don't know about you all, but during that week, and it could be a vacation, it could be for work, it could be just getting out of the house. So today happens to be a holiday, but also I have taken it upon myself for today to be just a mental rest day. I try to take them. I'm more conscious of them now. I was in my earlier years, but it's just a nice quiet day to catch up on whatever it may be. Self-development, maybe, out here on the patio just enjoying. I've been journaling a lot this morning, and I thought I would come on and just talk about change. Some of the things that I see whenever, I coach or I mentor people is they get stuck or they talk themselves out of a change that we've already decided on. We've sat down, we've created a plan. I'm going to go over some of the steps that I used to create that plan today. Maybe you've already gone through a couple days of the change, getting up early or, rewriting your resume or looking for a new job, or maybe you want to be more coachable, you want to communicate better, whatever that looks like. We've mapped out, we got our game plan, and then what happens? 2 to 3 weeks later, we meet and they're like, yeah, it isn't going so well. So we're also going to talk about 3 questions that I ask my team and that I ask others that I coach and mentor that help you get going and stay going. So let's dig into those 3 questions first. Now is a great time in at least the company that I work in because it's performance review season. And so in these performance reviews, it gives us a scheduled time for me to ask these 3 questions. However, you don't need a scheduled time. Anytime that you are ready for change, you've gained an awareness, you've determined the why, you've created that desire. So what does that support look like? Mental support, first the support that you need to provide yourself, and then the support that you can surround yourself with. And now we're into how to change. So anytime that you are going through this, these 3 questions are going to come in handy. The first question is, what do I need to continue? So looking back, what are some good behaviors? What are some best practices that you need to continue? Maybe you've been going to bed and getting restful sleep. You need to continue that. Maybe it's getting up early and working out. You need to continue that. Maybe it's your health. You've been taking care of yourself. Whatever that may be, what's one thing that you need to continue? So write that down. The second question is, what's one thing that you need to stop? So maybe it is that you catch yourself thinking negative and then speaking negative when you surround yourself with other people who may be down that same road. Maybe it's you committed to yourself that you're going to get up early and you've let that slide. So you're going to stop that. Getting up and sneaking a sweet here and there or a snack on your non-cheat days, right? You got to give yourself those cheat days to remind yourself. So you're going to stop that. So write down what's one thing that you need to stop. And then the third question is, what's one thing that you are going to start doing? And this one I leave to the end. Now remember, what's one thing you're going to continue? So you're going to continue on a positive or a behavior that is going to achieve your goal of change. What's one thing that you're going to stop doing because that is impeding your progress to change? And then what is one thing that you are going to start doing? The start piece involves action. So what's one thing? I would be very specific about this. Is it waking up an additional 15 minutes early each week so you can get to your goal target time so then you can go work out, right? So sometimes there's compounding goals or compounding things that we're going to start. Start small, keep it simple. When we overcomplicate change is where we get ourselves in trouble. That's where we either get stuck or we try it out and this isn't for us and we stop doing it. Okay, so keep the action piece simple. So those 3 things. What am I going to continue doing? What am I going to stop doing? and what am I going to start doing? And the reason why I ask those during this performance season is we're closing out our last year's performance. It's an opportunity for us to give some really good feedback, for us to give some information on what we could do better. And then those three questions propel us into the next performance year. So think of that as you are ending a change, a cycle of your life. Now is day one. What are you going to stop? What are you going to continue? And what are you going to start? So those three questions, really good. The other thing I wanted to jump on real quick today and talk about, and I was journaling this, and this is my baseline questionnaire. So when I coach and I mentor folks, I hand out a baseline questionnaire and we go over these three things. There's more specific questions. I'm not going to get into those, but we're going to talk about the general areas. The first area is our assumptions. So what are our assumptions that we have, whatever it looks like going into change? Or what are our current assumptions? Maybe I hear a lot of people, I'm a poor communicator. Or maybe it's that tried this before and it hasn't worked. I've tried to create a relationship with a person that maybe we've fallen off with. It could be a loved one, could be a parent or a significant other. I've tried that. It's not going to work. So when you start getting into those absolutes of not, never, always, those are assumptions. And that's where you need to check those assumptions. So that's the first area. The second area is our strengths. What are we good at? What are our strengths that you see yourself at? Maybe you're a good communicator, but your assumption is that you have trouble having those difficult conversations. You can't have those conversations. You avoid conflict. You can't handle conflict, right? So you kind of see where I'm going with this. So what are your strengths? Do you stay committed to things once you identify milestones and goals and set those goals or standards? Maybe it's that you're diligent with your study habits. So you make it a point to spend time to study. If you're going for that certification, if you're currently in school, whatever that looks like, right? What are your strengths? You know those strengths better than anybody else. So be very, very vulnerable and honest when you start identifying these things. And then last but not least, it's an environment. What does our environment look like? Is it conducive to us changing? Let me give you an example. If you are trying to speak more positive thoughts, think more positively, and you have that one good friend, you love them, but they're always turning towards the negative. They're always using the but word, right? Not and, but. As soon as you hear that, this is a great day, it's a beautiful day outside, but the sun's just not shining in the right angle. Or, hey, I had a really great day yesterday, but I was late for an appointment. So you kind of see where I'm going. That environment isn't conducive. Maybe it's an environment in weight loss that we talked about, or eating healthier, and you live with roommates, family, significant others, children, and you still have to cook for them in a certain way where now it tempts you to eat unhealthy when you committed. So is that environment conducive to change? So those three things, your assumptions, your strengths, and your environment, are three core areas that will build a baseline and a foundation when we are going into a season of change. And that's what we're talking about in this particular month, in this particular season, is how to change. That's our focus this week. So I hope those three questions that I asked, what do I need to continue? What do I need to stop? And what do I need to start? Along with the important areas of our assumptions, our strengths, and our environment will get you going and keep you going in this season of change. I hope this helps. Thanks for joining me today on the patio. I appreciate you all listening in. It is the greatest honor for you to share this podcast. You might have somebody out there that's going through a season of change, and they may be stuck, or they may be having a difficult time really getting going, figuring out what day one is, and then continuing on, not missing 2 days in a row. Share this with them. It would mean a lot to me as we grow our Go Be Great community. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. I believe in you. Go be great. We'll talk to everyone later. Bye. If you like what you're hearing, do us a favor, click on that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, or leave a comment. That lets us know that what we are putting out benefits you. If you want additional information or resources or learn how to work with me, head on over to thejohnespinosa.com, because when we become better versions of ourselves, it helps us get others to where they're going. Go be great. Talk to everyone later.